Welcome to this episode of Mainline Connects. I'm Lynn Robinson, and my guests today are Chris Drucquer and AndreaFanfera of CertaPro Painters of the Mainline. Thank you guys so much for being here.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for being here. So we like to start the show talking about some networking topics, of course, and I was curious with your business, what has worked better for you as far as, kind of doing print advertising and coupons and promotions and that sort of thing versus the face-to-face networking? Has both been a part of the growth of your business, or has one worked better than the other?
So I think it's definitely a combination.
Okay.
So we're on radio, we're on TV, so that's for brand awareness. People like to see signs on the street, so they like to see that we're doing work in their neighborhood. But that only goes so far these days. I think now it's important to get out in the community and meet people, and so they get to know who you really are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so combination. Yeah, I think that's important for people to understand that it's not the one thing that helps, grow the business. You have to try a variety of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see your signs all over the place, which is a good thing, right? That means you're doing a lot of business.
Yeah, we're busy.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah. So, I was looking at your background, Chris, and, graduated from Penn, and almost immediately it seems like you got into the franchise business.
That's correct.
So, did you know when you were going to school, I want to graduate and start a franchise? Or, was it kind of a decision you made after graduation, or how did that all go down?
So it's something not everyone knows. Have you heard of college pro painters?
I have heard of college pro painters.
So they're literally college kids painting houses.
Yeah.
And that's how I paid my way through Penn.
Okay.
Is with college pro painters.
Okay.
So about 25 years ago, you probably noticed a lot of college pro signs around. That was a couple of us that were running those businesses. Very successful. And then the people that started CertaPro came from college pro, and they were starting the year I graduated. And I realized this is a business I could jump into right away because my father and my mother owned a restaurant, my grandmother owned a stable. So I'd love to have my own business.
Right.
And this is one that I could do right out of college.
Okay. So it sounds like you came from kind of an entrepreneur background.
I did.
And you probably went to school at least focused on the fact that you would have your own business as opposed to going to corporate America?
So you would think so.
Yeah.
My first 3 years are mostly engineering classes, which I thought I would love, and I turns out did not.
Okay.
So I started taking some business classes.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of given a little bit of background already, but when you did graduate and you were looking to get into a franchise, was it as simple as what you've said, that your friends from College Pro were starting this, or did you research other franchises? How did you settle on this one?
So it's very different now, and when you have a family and you've been out in the workforce, it's a completely different decision to make. When I made this decision, I just knew one particular person, Charlie Chase, who lives in Wayne.
Okay.
He was founding CertaPro, and I believed in him. And I wouldn't have even really considered another franchise. And I wasn't planning to buy a franchise. It just I kind of fell into it.
Okay. So yeah, you brought up a good point. For those people out there, and I think I've even talked to you about the fact that my husband has been looking at franchises to invest in. I know there's a lot of people out there who have considered this as a great business opportunity. Having been in it for a number of years, what factors would you say people should look at as far as selecting the right franchise for them?
So what I found is really important, and I meet people that are interested in buying a franchise because they do, CertaPro does a discovery day. They fly people in from around the country that are interested, and I speak to them for about an hour. So I get to know what they're going through. And what seems to be really important is reaching out to two things, is getting to know the corporate staff, to making sure you feel comfortable with the people, and not just one or two, but 5 or 10 or 15 of the key staff.
Okay.
And then it's really important to reach out to the franchisees and get a full list of franchisees, not the 5 that they're suggesting you call, but the full list and pick and choose. And you want to make sure that people really love what they do, they're making good money, and everyone kind of speaks the same language and feels the same way about the company.
Okay. So, you would encourage people who are looking at it to talk to as many independent franchise owners as possible?
I would say at least 5, and 10 to 15 is great.
Okay, great. So, there's tons of painting businesses out there, and even on the main line. What do you guys think sets you apart as far as, CertaPro?
Well, there's things that you do when you walk into a home, like taking off your shoes, to asking really good questions. I would say asking more questions, being on time, starting the project and finishing it, not leaving in between. Our charity work, I would say, for sure. It's kind of something that some of it we do with just our franchise, and then the other charity work, we do it as a whole company as well, as a whole franchise. So, do you have anything to add to that, Chris?
Yeah, I would just say, what we're known for is fair prices.
Okay.
We're not crazy mainline prices, and we're not, really cheap prices either. So we're known for fair prices, but it's our people, our sales staff, Krista in our office, and our supervisors that oversee the work are absolutely the best. They're fantastic. They really care. They, like Andrea says, they take their shoes off. They say please and thank you. It's just kind of unusual, I found, in contracting to have such high caliber individuals doing the painting.
I have to agree with you, and I love what you said about when you start a job, you actually finish it and don't leave it in the middle. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've heard that from, not just with painting, but other work at their home. You know, they came and they did a great job for a couple weeks, and then they said they come back and it's been a month and nobody's been back and we've been fighting with them. So, you know, the fact that you have dependability, you know, probably goes a long way with your business, that you have that reputation that you're going to come and do the job well and finish it, and there's not going to be those lags where people have, you know, a mess in their house and they're waiting for you to finish.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And our painters, too, have been with us for 10, 15, or 13 years.
Yeah.
So they've stuck around. It's the same faces. If you use us over and over again, you can kind of request what you want, which is nice. And just one thing that popped into my head, too, is our warranty inspections. We give a 2-year warranty.
Okay.
And we physically go out and we check it, and we put a little sign saying that we were there. So
just to make sure things are holding up.
Just to make sure things are
holding up. If there's a problem, we just fix it.
That's
so
great.
It's running, we happen to be in a painting business, but running it more like a business than a typical, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the warranty is a really good point to bring up. I don't think many people offer that, so that's good to know. Yeah, so I mean, clearly you're a painting business. Do you want to tell people a little more about the kind of services you offer, like the kind of things you could do? I mean, obviously the painting.
So, all right, so we do commercial and residential painting.
Okay.
Residential, it's focused mostly on the main line in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Although CertaPro is national, and it's a high caliber of individual that runs these franchises. So a CertaPro all around the country. They're all very good. Commercially, we cover most of greater Philadelphia, and we've even been to DKNY headquarters in Manhattan and painted for Donna Karan, which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So we do interior, we do exterior. No job is too small. That's our introduction to meet someone, to paint their front door. And what typically happens is they're really impressed with our service and our people, and they call us back and refer us.
Okay, and I was going to ask that, you know, if people just need kind of touch-ups, different rooms of their house, you guys can still handle things like that.
It's about building relationships, and that's how it starts, with something small like that oftentimes.
So as far as networking and marketing the business, would you say there's a difference between how you would how you market your business because it's a franchise versus an independent, you know, the kind of business I run that's just me, or would you say it's the same?
I think the overall approach is very similar.
Okay.
You want to have a great product. You want to let people know about it.
Yeah.
You want to personally talk about your product with people, so that's the networking. I mean, we have huge advantages at being part of a franchise system in that. I mean, for instance, though, there are 11 franchises in Philadelphia. So we pool our money.
Okay.
So if you hear us on the radio or see us on TV, we're paying for a small portion of that. So our marketing costs are much lower.
That's great, yeah.
And before, you know, we get inundated with phone calls about different ideas for marketing. Before we jump and do something, we normally check to find out that it's been successful with other franchisees around the country. So we tend not to waste as much of our marketing dollars.
So as a group, it seems like it works a little bit like a mastermind sort of for you. Like you kind of learn from each other and try to grow your businesses together. It's not sort of that competitive atmosphere that maybe people would assume between the franchises.
Friendly competition.
Friendly competition, okay.
We are always cheerleading for the other franchisees, and we're also trying to beat them at the same time.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
And we do have we have flight groups, they're called. In my group, there are 7 of us.
Okay.
And we meet quarterly, go over P&Ls, business plans, how to focusing on customer service and how to get better as a company, and I learn a lot from that from peers.
Yeah, they get down and dirty with all the nitty gritty and see how we can all help each other.
That's great.
It's fantastic, actually. Yeah.
So one of the things you touched on for a second was, you get all these opportunities and inundated with stuff, and I know that's a concern for a lot of businesses. And I would think, because you are a franchise on the main line, you probably get a lot of calls for, sponsorship and do you want to put ads in here? Do you want to do this or that? How do you, maybe the answer is what you already told me about having this group of franchisee owners and getting some input, but how do you go about deciding, this is what we want to do and this is what we're going to, not say yes to?
For the most part, I hand it over to Andrea and see what her gut feeling is.
And I get it, yes, indeed. You're right, we do get a lot, and as we have sponsored more, we get even more. So I like to have a relationship with them, learn more about them. Sometimes if somebody has referred them to me, I'll give them a little bit of a job, like, hey, check out our website and let me know something that really inspires you, why you would want us to sponsor it. And if they come through with a job, then and email me back, then I'll say, okay, let's chat. But typically we have a relationship with them already, because we do believe in building relationships before you need them. So we do have a lot of good relationships in that aspect. But other than that, one other thing that I will do, if I do believe in them or I think that it's a great charity, I'll refer it out to another franchisee within CertaPro and say, hey, I just wanted to show you this. Maybe you might want to think about sponsoring it. And then they can take it from there.
Okay. Yeah, and I know, there's some businesses out there that literally have a designated time of year where they all sit down, or maybe the owners sit down and they decide, okay, for the year we're going to sponsor these events, or we're going to work with these charities, or maybe they select one charity that's kind of their charity of the year that the workplace is going to work with. I know you guys do your own charity work, and we'll talk more about that, but as far as the outside charities that contact you and the outside community events, do you kind of do that at a certain time of year, or do you kind of do it as it happens? Or
there's only so much funds that we have for it.
And I guess that's what I was getting at.
And at the end of the year, I usually say, hey, this is lovely, but contact us next year, and don't hesitate to do so.
Okay.
So typically they understand that, and they'll write in January and be like, hey, our October event's coming. What do you think?
Tenacity pays off.
So,
okay.
So
all
yes.
right. Good to know.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think has been the most challenging part of running a franchise so far?
So, I mean, the first 10 years, so I was right out of college.
Okay.
I didn't have a whole lot of money.
Right.
So those first 10 years financially were tough to have a business right out of school.
Sure.
And the second thing I found, and it's funny because it's actually the opposite now, but finding good people to work for us was a challenge.
Yeah.
Painters are known for letting people down and showing up late and that type of thing. And we had some good ones. But it wasn't until we found some great ones that part of the job got much easier. And then the business is really fun when you have, we struggle every day to find enough work to keep these fantastic people busy because they deserve it.
Yeah, so you bring up a really good point. I think a lot of businesses succeed or fail based on having good people and retaining good people. So what do you guys think that you do, to retain the good people? Once you find them, how do you keep them there? It sounds like you've had people that have been there a long time, so they must be very happy with the business. But how do you think that you do that?
A few things. I'll just take one portion of it. We love to, at this point in the game, treat them. We go to the soccer games, and we have a big grill outside, and we do like everybody kind of brings something from their country or from their grandmom or their tradition or whatever it may be. And we cook.
Okay.
And we break bread together and have a great time. And yes, we have alcohol and we have games, and it's a lovely experience. I guess I'll call it tailgating, as you might know what it is.
Yeah.
And then we pop into the game, and we're very excited. Our kids come, our families come. We build goals together, and we treat if we hit our goal. Last year we went to the Palm Springs. What was it called?
It's the tram. We brought them on. This tram
that goes up
to the top of the mountain. We actually,
fun.
We were in the pool swimming earlier, and later in the day we're at the top of the mountain. We're sledding with our whole team.
Wow!
It had snowed up there, which is pretty cool out in California.
It was,
Very
and
cool.
that was a surprise to us that there was even snow up there, and it was just so fun. So we're finding that these experiences are really magical, and it brings us together. We also, if somebody's feeling down or their morale isn't quite to be what it is, we either watch it or we ask more questions, or we tell each other, or everybody's different, and everybody comes to you and says something different. And if 5 people come and say the same thing, and you're like, this is the same old, it's still important what they say, and that's just an important piece to know.
So we care about them, truly care about them. We don't just say it, we do.
Right.
And what we also try to focus on, which is they've made it very easy for us, is catching them doing something great. And we've actually had some fun with our Facebook page, that we catch them with a very happy client or really proud of something they just did, and we'll get a quick picture or a quick video and put it on our Facebook page. And what's really rewarding is seeing when we tag them, because we're friends with most of them, is seeing their family and their friends really get engaged with that, and so proud of Eric, or so proud of what Clayton's doing, and it's really neat.
That's really great. I really like that idea. And you guys have talked a lot about kind of employee recognition and building relationships and getting to know people. And those are definitely the things that help a business succeed, and I think are just good in life in general. You never know where life's going to lead you. So, even if you have people that you build great relationships with and for whatever reason they move on, or maybe a spouse has to move away, you still have those relationships. The relationships don't change.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. So I know you guys do a lot of, we talked about some of the outside charity work a little bit, but you guys have a lot of charity endeavors that you've done as a franchise. Some of them have become real signature events for you. Do you want to talk about some of that? Or?
So Andrea heads this up, so this is...
This is one of my jobs. So we do a children's book drive and a coat drive every year. And they're kind of similar. They go to the same places, Cradles to Crayons and Impact Services in Kensington.
Okay.
We have drop boxes all over. We put those drop box addresses on our website. And typically we'll put that link in an email blast or in a something to a client. Oftentimes Chris will be in somebody's home, or our other sales guys, and they will say, hey, we're collecting books and we're giving $50 off, or we're collecting coats or we're giving $100 off. And if they have them right then and there, they give them. A lot of the times they have to kind of go get them. They could give them to our crew chief, our painters, so they can give them that way, and then also the website. We collect so many. Everybody's so generous.
I think we've collected over 6,000, 7,000 coats over
really?
the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years.
Amazing.
We've only done it for 5 years, yes.
Yeah.
And the books are so important in the summer. We found out through Impact Services, who needed the winter coats in the winter, that the children in that neighborhood really didn't have books at home.
Okay.
And the kids were out of school.
Yeah.
So she's like, we'd love it if you guys could figure out a way to connect some books with us. And we have clients that are holding on to books that their children are past the years that they would be reading children's books.
Still in great condition.
But no one throws out a book, right?
Right.
So it's really rewarding because they're dying to do something with these books, and we take them and find a good home for them.
Yeah, and I think that's so important too, because I know for me, I struggle with getting rid of stuff, I think like a lot of us do, but when you know it's going to a specific place and you can see the impact it's going to have, instead of just, driving it somewhere in a truck and saying, here's some donations, like when you know that it's going to go to these kids in this particular area with this particular organization, I think it's easier to part with stuff, you know? You feel like it has a great purpose.
Yes, sometimes that's just what people are waiting for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... we've also, just to wrap it up, this portion of it is we've painted with the kids at CHOP. We get little canvases and paint, have them paint something that makes them smile.
We bring our huge mascot, who's a huge paintbrush. Bristles is his name.
Okay. Oh, that's so cool.
And then we paint with the kids, which is really great.
That's really
Same
fun.
with the JRA. We get our team and inspire other friends, and the Jewish Relief Agency. And we go and we pack up food. They have a gorgeous warehouse, and they have a whole bunch of food, and they put it in, and then we go and deliver it, and our kids get out, and they, or our team gets out, depending on who we bring that day.
It's how we indoctrinate our new people, is within the first month we want them doing something charity-wise. Just to show them what we're about as a company. It's not just about making money and painting houses.
So would you say that's more about you guys locally as Certa Pro of the main line, or is that more of a company-wide kind of initiative that focuses on, giving back?
So all of those things are. They'll kind of the other franchisees around us kind of pick and choose which year they want. Maybe they want to break that year and they'll do it next year.
Okay.
So those ones we spearhead. But the 5K, which is something that we do, this will be our 5th annual. It benefits Homes for Our Troops.
Okay.
It's franchise. It's actually into Canada too.
So that's nationwide?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
So we had the first 5K to raise money for Homes for Our Troops 5 years ago. And our corporate office was instrumental, and they really put that together for us. And it was so successful because Homes for Our Troops raises money to build a home for the disabled troop.
Okay.
But then there's painting to be done.
Right.
So we have the opportunity to come in with our painters and paint the project. And now I think we've raised over $400,000 across the country.
Wow.
And we're now painting the majority of the homes around the country, including one we just painted in January in Hawley, Pennsylvania.
That's great. So the 5K and your coat drive and the book drive for kids, those are kind of the signature things that you guys are involved in at your franchise.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
We need one for the fall. We don't really have a fall event yet.
We don't. You're right.
Something more for you, Andrea. Yes.
So Andrea is great. She works really hard on these.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. So Andrea, I know you came into kind of the business and into Chris's life a few years ago, and now you work together. So tell me how that works out. Is it a struggle to work together and then come home together, or how do you make it all work? Do you do a date night? Do you separate business from home life? Tell me about how that works out.
So it'll almost be 8 years that we're together, and we have a lovely relationship. I don't know if it's because it's our second relationship or just because we click so well or what happened there, but all the stars lined up. And we started to work together. We thought, oh, this will be fantastic. And it is. It definitely is. We do run into talking about CertaPro at 9 o'clock at night. We have a new role. Actually, it's not new anymore. We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah,
cut it off at 5 o'clock.
No talk about the business.
No work
yes,
talk.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's hard sometimes.
Sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Because we're really passionate about it, and it's so exciting, some of the things we're doing, and we get a new sponsor that wants to give more money to the 5K, and we're dying to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
every once in a while it leaks out. But
sometimes, it happens afterwards, and we have the right to.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. So it's a good understanding. I would say communication, and we're both competent and we're both confident in each other. And I do my thing, he does his thing, and it kind of just meshes together. It's like, I know you have that, I know you have that.
Right.
And if we see something too, we'll say something. So we just really communication, and I mean that in the biggest way. And that means, critiquing each other. It means letting each other know something. It's just, every aspect
one of the
of
things that we have in common, and this is from the beginning, is we just are always trying to improve.
Okay.
So a critique and, hey, you could be doing this a little bit better, is a positive for us to hear that, because it's an opportunity to improve, and we both really embrace that.
Okay, that's good, because if one of you weren't like that, I could see that causing a lot of friction. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's good that you're both about that idea. That's very good.
So so the one rule is after 5 o'clock, and the other rule that we've found is we try to put her job in a box. So there's specific roles that she has, so we don't overlap as much. So if it's charity, I can very nicely hand it to Andrea, and she can run with it.
So that leads into my next question. As far as the networking that you guys do, as far as going out to community events and going out to business networking events, do you have sort of a divide and conquer mentality? Do one of you go to certain events? Do one of you go to all the networking events because you're more comfortable? Like, how do you kind of divide it up?
Well, we both do. I think we both have a personality that jives with networking.
Okay.
One of us isn't like on the books, and the other one's super, loud and everything. So, but I do a lot of women's groups, so that he obviously can't go to.
Right.
But we both love to do them together. We love it, and we don't always. I do a whole bunch, Karen Tool, eBirds, WIBSN, Busy Mamas, Femfessionals. Those are all the ones that you can't particularly go to, and those are women's ones. But then the BCA, the Business Club of America, that one's a lovely one. We love doing that one together.
Okay.
We love, I did the Philadelphia Proprietors. They're a neat group.
Is that the CCPA, the Center City Proprietors, or is that something else?
I believe so. Yeah, I just joined, so I don't know too much about them, but
I've been a member for a few years. It's a great group.
Yeah, I kind of go with my heart. So I like those events, and if I didn't, I probably wouldn't go, right?
Right.
So whatever hits me.
Okay.
And then I find it's the people that I meet. If I meet people I really jive with and I enjoy and want to spend more time with, that's a group I want to go to again. So I don't want, and we're finding that for our people now that we have a lot of salespeople. Is my question is, did you enjoy yourself? Did you meet people you liked? If you did, they'll be more apt to go again.
Right.
If they didn't, then we'll need to find them, something else for them to do.
That makes sense.
And the Mainline Chamber has a lot of people that we know in there, so we love to see, new people, but we also love to see people that we know as well. So it's another one that is a great organization that we can just kind of pop in together, or he'll go and then I'll go later, and then he'll leave and go to something else. So
yeah, I've seen you guys do
and
that.
Sometimes we randomly come into the same event and like, oh, I didn't know you were coming to this one.
Now that's funny.
Hey.
Yeah, because we don't check each other's schedule.
Yeah. Well, you're so busy. Yeah. So when you do go to networking events, I know one of the things that I focus on in some of my networking talks is if people go to events together, let's say, Do you work the room together or do you not? And my kind of teaching that I do is not. What do you guys do? You separate? Yeah,
we do. For a good portion of the time, we will separate, and it's lovely to come back and if it's a dinner or if it's drinks or something like that.
Like every hour or so, I like to just say hi
just check
and let her
in.
know I care.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like it.
I think it works better if you separate and you can meet more people and different people, and I think that works better for your business.
Yeah, and then
better
we can
use of your time,
introduce the
right?
friends that we met, and the new friends we met, and that type of thing is fun. Yeah.
Great, yeah. So what about
Absolutely.
personally? What do you guys have as sort of a goal outside of your business for 2016? Something you want to accomplish?
So we haven't revealed this yet. I have 4 children. Andrea has 3 children. So together we have 7, and we have an exchange student from Belgium that's with us.
So it's quite a Brady Bunch.
So
they're all in the house at the same time, just to give viewers an idea. So in the morning, I make 8 lunches. But go ahead. Our goal is...
So we love our business, but if we're not working in our business or networking or out, building the business, we're home with our kids.
Right.
And that's a big part of why we focus on growing our business, is to provide for 7 colleges' tuitions, right?
I can't even imagine.
So for me personally, and I think we were talking about this at lunch, it's about our children just all improving, whether it's picking up the piano or improving in a sport or working on getting a better grade in one specific class. It's sometimes the little victories that I'm focused on.
Yes, absolutely. You stole mine. But yeah, I would say 100%, making sure that they do what they want to do, learning a new language or just being okay. They're teenagers, some of them, and they're going through so much, and maybe they had a bad day at school, the girls are mean to them that day, and it's like, this will pass, it's just a goal for the whole entire year, from January to December is just to make sure that they are okay, they're successful, they're confident, and that they're growing as well. And it's a lot of work, but it's so much fun. I will one day. I will miss it for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I knew you had all the kids, and I'm always amazed by what you're able to accomplish and have such wonderful kids. I mean, it's really inspiring. Would you say that some of them, especially maybe the older ones, you've started to instill kind of a spirit of entrepreneurism in them? Do you see any of them kind of going down that path?
Bits and pieces, right?
Bits and
selling
pieces.
Online on eBay and
yes. Oh my goodness, absolutely. Yeah,
I think,
and just doing it.
So I'm really excited. Our exchange student from Belgium is connected with Gavin, Andrea's oldest son, and he's actually going to go to Belgium and stay with her family for a couple months
how nice!
And get to know their culture.
Okay.
So that's a win for us.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, he's doing a French program, and he's, may travel, around to other parts, because over there is it's like as far away as New Jersey is. Italy is that far. Paris is that far. New Jersey or Ohio, it's fairly close. So it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. So I'm excited for him. He's going to be with a really fantastic family.
It's a great experience for him, too. Yeah.
We do expose them to the business as much as we can. This summer in particular, we're going to put them to work a bit.
So do some of them already work with you, or this summer is going to be the first
A little bit here and there.
Yeah.
We've had some marketing interns that they've shadowed behind and learned a couple things.
Okay, I think that's great.
I think we're going to put them to work a little bit harder this year.
Wonderful. Yeah, I had a guest on previous to you guys who's a business coach, and she was telling me it was just Take Your Kids to Work Day. She's an entrepreneur, and she had her daughter actually come to a networking event with her and do her own 30-second pitch, which I thought was really awesome.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah,
oh
I think, it's something that,
great.
it's not one of those things that school teaches you, but it's a really important thing.
So important.
As, even as a college student and things like that, to be able to present yourself in the best light. In a succinct way, I
have to, I just put 2 and 2 together. I have to share something, which is we visited my grandmother in a nursing home with my 4 kids. And I said, guys, you need to have answers to these 2 questions. Like, how are you doing in school? And it can't just be good. It has to be like something about a history or something specific.
A talking point, right?
A talking point, and just like networking. And then the second thing is when they say, what else are you doing? You have to have an answer to that, and you have to elaborate with a sentence or 2. And they did it, and it was so magical.
Yeah.
And to have them engaged, and I know that it was an absolute thrill for my grandmother to really interact and show off her grandchildren.
That's great. I love that idea. So we're nearing the end, and I want to make sure people know how to reach you. So if you want to tell our viewers, whatever information you want to give them about not only how they can reach you if they want to hire you for services, but if they want to get involved maybe in some of these charity endeavors, how can they reach you?
Sure. So our phone number is 610-525-8484. Our website is certapro.com/mainline. And then for the charity events, probably would be our 5K.
Yeah, so it's certapro.com/5K.
So you can donate there or sponsor next year's race or sign up for the race.
Yeah, you can always donate. They're always looking for money. Homes for Our Troops certainly is.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.